up being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.
To another episode number 3 of Adesanya podcast, where we keep it raw and uncut. And tonight's topic is actually UFC 250. What is it, Omar? 258?
Nine, sir.
59. Okay, 259. These numbers just get me confused. But the guy that just spoke, his name is Omar. My name is Ruben. And yeah, let's just break it down. We are actually gonna.
You super close to the camera right now, bro.
Oh, am I? Oh, let me back up a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that you actually felt my vibe. You know what I mean? Because I'm excited for this card. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. It's been a minute since we had like fucking a stacked ass badass card like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for it too, bro.
Yeah, yeah, man. So I guess there's fights in the main card, but obviously we're just gonna break down basically the main top three card. I'm sorry, top three fights in that card, which is just each fight in this card could just be its own pay-per-view in itself. It's three
I mean,
championship fights.
it's most of the full card, right? I mean
Yeah,
the pay-per-view card. It's
yeah,
5 fights, which more other ones. We'll slide through them real quick.
yeah.
Then we also got Dominic Cruz, you know,
Main event on
previous
the prelims.
champ.
Yeah,
Who else is on there? Joe Benavidez. He's pretty
correct.
decent. He's pretty cool. Um,
And to be honest, in my opinion, I think Dominic Cruz should have been on that main card. I know he said he has no problem. I saw an interview earlier. He says he has no problem of being not on the pay-per-view and him being the main event on the prelim. But you know what? Every time Dominic Cruz fights, I'm just a true believer. He gives it his 110%, and he always keeps it al cien. And he just keeps it going, man. He honestly, the guy's a legend. And on top of him being a legend, like he brings it, man. He's so disciplined. Like, I mean, he's just a true, to my opinion, just a true mixed martial artist, and as well as a purist, in his own era.
he's I've always said like it's weird when people say refer to the fight IQ, right?
Yeah,
But he when you fight when you talk about fight IQ, you have to mention him. You have to bring him up. He's like one of the most technical fighters there is in the UFC, and I think just period. You know, for a really long time, he just perfected his footwork and his technique, and I mean, to be honest, he's not, known as a knockout artist or anything like that. But he is known to be one of the most technical fighters there is out there. And he's got hella
true.
footwork and he has pretty good hands, man. I mean, he has really good combinations and stuff like that. So when you talk about that fighter IQ, you have to talk about Dominic Cruz.
For sure.
Plus, not to mention that uh, first UFC bantamweight champion, right? When he came from WEC, and then he fucking retained his title for the longest until he got hurt. And even when he got hurt, he came back, torn ACL. He came back and won the title again.
Yeah. And that's what I was just gonna point out is that he had those injuries and still man. I mean, it's crazy that he keeps, the same not only competitive spirit because after so many injuries he's had, sometimes it just goes downhill from there, but it's the opposite. It looks like he's always figured out a way to just reinvent himself every time.
Yeah, I mean, he got one of the best comeback stories in sports, if you ask me, when it comes to like devastating injuries. I've always said that like his comeback. I was like, I think I posted on Facebook one time. I was like, somebody share his story with Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose needs some inspiration like that. But
Yeah. No, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he came back from a devastating injury, won his title back. Um, but then he's struggled to get back to it. So hopefully we can see him get a W.
Yeah.
He's
So
an
if you
underdog,
want
by
to,
the way.
yeah, yeah, very true.
He's an underdog. It's kind of one of those scenarios where they got the young guy fighting against the vet, who is just kind of gonna overthrow them. You know, one of those scenarios.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you know Dominic Cruz, you know he's not gonna go out that easily.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you want to pull up the card, that would be great. That way we can start breaking down, and also we can, as well as we can see the betting odds as well.
Damn.
There you go. Yeah, we'll
On the
start off with
undercard,
Dominic Cruz.
Joe
Yeah.
Benavidez too. You know, he
Okay.
just
So
fought for
he's a
titles.
plus. Wow.
Huh?
Joseph Benavidez at number 2 is plus 110.
So he's an underdog.
Yeah. Wow.
Same
Um,
thing. Well, he's number 3, right? So this guy is upcoming too, but he is
yeah.
ranked number 3. So it's like a winner there. Um, Kind of jumps back right into the title contender again.
Yeah. And well, that's the other thing too. Let's go to Benavidez. I mean, it's just unfortunate he can just never get that title. He's
Yeah,
had so many title
he's an
shots.
OG too. Old
Yeah,
school
not
dude.
including his wife, super hot in the UFC.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. Um, I think, yeah, that's one thing that I look forward to when I watch UFC. Definitely. What's her name? Megan.
Megan.
Yeah, Megan. When she pulls up the highlight reel sometimes, yeah. I'm not really looking at the highlight reels or the interviews. You know who I'm looking at. Megan, holla at your boy. Yeah, so let's start off with the bottom, right? The bantamweight
Thiago Santos.
title first, right?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go ahead and
Want to go
start with
straight
the
to it? It's up to
yeah.
you.
No, it doesn't bother
I
me.
mean,
Whatever you like,
I
you
would
want to
just
break it
say,
down.
I would just say to everybody, keep an eye on this guy, Islam. There's
Okay.
a lot of talk, a lot of hype with him. He trains at AKA, which is the same gym as Khabib. And
Okay.
I don't know if he's related to Khabib, but he came out of like the same training camp where he brought him to AKA. And I guess he's supposed to be the next big thing for like Khabib. I think he only has one loss. He's been in the UFC for a minute, and he just has one loss. So there's a lot of hype. I heard a lot of hype around him
Yeah,
for
I
this
mean, and
card and for the future.
I think there has to be a lot of hype behind them. If I mean, you're picking that guy over Dominic Cruz,
I mean, he does
for
look like Khabib.
yeah, I mean, he does look, but besides looking like Khabib, his record's pretty good. It's not
This
bad.
this one's pretty interesting to me too, dude. Thiago Santos, obviously he fought John Jones. There's a lot of controversy. Some people say that he might have won that fight. I don't think so, but he's ranked number 2, and he's an underdog.
Yeah,
So that's interesting. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with this guy,
yeah.
but that's a pretty interesting fight too. And like you said, considering that they're putting these guys above Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, you know what? Going back to Tiago, I think one of the reasons why he might be an underdog and he is ranked number 2 is because he's coming off of injury. And there was a long layoff, so that has a lot to do with maybe him being an underdog. But knowing the power he has, it's kind of I would put some good money on that one. The odds look good, and as well
Thiago,
as yeah,
yeah,
one
I would put money on
plus
him.
yeah plus
Probably
138.
will.
Yeah, I could see it. I might even see a second round knockout, bro. But it just depends on what kind of
I
ring
would
rust the
I would
guy bring.
parlay Thiago with this kid, Islam,
Okay.
since he's pretty big favorite, and there's a lot of hype around him. I would parlay him with Thiago, which even out the odds for the such over.
Okay.
And then you may possibility of making some money there.
Okay. So you want to talk about the bantamweight
We'll start from the
title?
bottom. Start from
Yeah,
the bottom. Who you got? 135.
I got I got the champ, man. It's pretty much
You're
even.
Jan.
Yeah, Pure Young. I like the guy. He has I mean, not only I've seen some Instagram videos where he can actually break dance and stuff like that, but uh, the guy can punch, man, and he's showing that he's the real deal. I like him, man. He looks sharp. And then you got Sterling, he's a savage too, but I just it's pretty even in the bets, but I don't know. Championships experience, he's been in late rounds, so that's what kind of making me lean towards that guy. But
So Peter Yan is a pretty aggressive guy, right? He comes forward. He has good knockout power. Obviously, he overwhelmed Jose Aldo, and when he won the belt. But bro, I'm gonna go with Sterling on this one. I'm gonna go
really,
with Sterling on this one. I think Sterling is just more well rounded, rounded a lot more, like well rounded as stand up and on the ground. He has some sick ass jits, some killer submissions. Um,
isn't he
uh,
based off Matt Serra's gym too
yes,
as
that's
well?
what I was gonna
Yeah,
tell you. He comes out of Matt Serra's gym, and you know that their jits, their ground
yeah,
is top game, bro.
yeah, world
Um,
class for sure.
and he has a lot of submissions. I think he wins it by submission.
Really,
I think he wins it
wow,
by submission, bro. I think Peter John's gonna go as he always does, gonna overwhelm. Um, but Sterling also has really good reach.
yeah,
He's got long, lengthy arms and legs. Um, he knows how to use that reach very well. I think he'll be able to control the distance very well,
yeah,
keep Peter Yan on the outside, and at some point, I think he'll go for a takedown. Try
yeah.
to take him to the ground.
Um, you know what? If you add his jujitsu, I mean, it's very true. But I don't know. I just see Peter Young just taking over in the late rounds.
If he tags him,
You know,
I think it's kind of opposite. I think if he tags him early on, with his aggression, and he tags him,
yeah,
then he can knock him out. But if is Aljamain Sterling can keep his composure, use his distance, keep his distance from him, then I think he finishes probably in the third or later rounds.
yeah. Um, Yeah, but see, but I've seen Sterling too, though. Sometimes he can tend to get a little aggressive. Sometimes I seen him where he just, starts
He's
swinging
very
for the fences.
unorthodox, right? So he
Yeah,
throws a lot of crazy stuff, and he can get a little wild. Sometimes he'll go for that spinning back fist or something like that,
yeah,
something wild
definitely.
like that. But I think, I mean, he's got a he's got a good corner, right?
Yeah,
Matt Zero, and then the main trainer, I forget his name, but
uh,
um, I mean, they got pretty good
yeah,
experience, you know. I think they'll kind of calm him down a little bit. Like, yo, this fight's for real. It's for a title, obviously. So I think they'll keep him composed, and I think he'll get it done.
okay.
I really do.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean that's the thing though. I just want to say one more thing is like the betting odds are even, so I think they got a chance to steal the show. To be honest, I think that's going to be the most competitive fight in the card as far as the pay per view one, in my
you think
opinion.
so?
I think so. I think those guys are going to bring it.
I think a lot of people. Well, no, actually, not a lot of people aren't thinking like that. They are thinking like that in the sense where everybody thinks that Israel and Amanda are just going to win, right?
Yeah,
And so, if you look at, if you're familiar with these two guys, then you know that they're going to be pretty technical. And yeah, they do have a chance to steal the show. But we'll get into the other ones. I have some things that a lot of people aren't maybe thinking about in the other two fights. But yeah, I think this one will be a little bit more technical than the others. But it's up to Sterling to keep it technical and keep it,
you know,
you know, he's a he lets Peter John just walk all over him, then he's gonna
yeah,
come through like he always does. He's very aggressive, pushes forward, overwhelms with punches and stuff like that. So if Sterling can really work on that distance
yeah.
and kind of pick him apart a little bit,
Hmm.
I think Sterling gets it done. And like I said, I think he gets it done by submission, bro.
Well, that's a good one to bet. I bet. I don't know what the betting odds are on that one submission, but I think you have
That's
a
a good
point. I
question.
mean, and you could shoot that shot there and see what kind of money odds you get. But like I said, I think that's gonna be the one that is might steal the show. You know.
But you know what? Since we're on the division, I think the division, that 135 division, is gonna get pretty hot pretty soon.
Yeah.
You have You have a lot of injuries. A lot of guys are out, right?
Yeah,
The snake in the grass. The
yeah,
snake in the grass. He's coming back soon, bro.
yeah. TJ Dillashaw. For
TJ
people that don't
Dillashaw,
know,
little snake in the grass. If you guys
yeah,
don't know that story, you guys got to look that up.
yeah,
We won't get into it though.
yeah.
I just want to
Yeah,
check this.
that you bring up a good point. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think TJ Dillashaw comes back title shot right away or no title shot?
I hope he doesn't. I hope they don't give him a title shot. Like he doesn't deserve it.
Okay.
Dude, positive for Royals is like, and you gonna come back and give him a title shot right away. Like, I hope not. Um,
Okay.
I think a lot of people were talking about him versus Raya favor
Okay.
since they got that beef.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know about that one, man. I sometimes I feel like maybe Uriah Faber is just a little bit over the hill. But then again, it is, they got that beef with them. They used to be training partners. I mean, there's a story behind it. Yeah, it can sell.
And that's where
But
the snake in the grass comes from, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I got a feeling.
Well,
Something. My gut tells me. Honestly, my gut tells me that I honestly think he will get the title shot right away.
Uriah is. I don't think it would be a very competitive fight. I mean, you have to wonder, right? You have to also wonder and consider how much these roids were really giving him a
Yeah,
positive, like really
the
helping him.
positive results. Yeah,
Yeah.
effective
So
results. Yeah.
which what was it? APO or IPO or whatever that shit's called.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know what it's called to be honest. Um, but that's like like a super enhancement, right?
Yeah.
It increases your blood cells. It gives you more stamina. It gives you more
I mean,
like
at that point,
endurance.
when I found out about all that stuff, I thought he was trying to do the Lance Armstrong theory. You know what I mean? Like he was
Well, that's
going
what he did.
above and
That's
beyond.
that's
Yeah,
exactly the same shit that he did.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so you have to wonder how much was that really helping him?
yeah,
And how is he gonna come back the same? Obviously not the same, right? But we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't get a title shot. I
yeah.
don't think he will.
I mean, you know what I like to see too? I like to see him versus TJ Dillashaw versus if Dominic Cruz wins, that would be a good one. You know,
He's already beat him.
Yeah, but they still got that beef, and that I think that fight at least would be more competitive. But then again, like you said, we need to see the TJ Dillashaw without the handsome performance, and then also, 2 years is a long time, man, and sparring is not the same as you actually getting in there in the octagon. So who knows? We don't know if he'll have a soft chin. We don't know. I mean, he did get knocked out in the last fight. But the weight cut was he just didn't look healthy
Yeah.
at all. I mean, that was one crazy shit right there.
So just to answer your question, submission by Sterling is a plus 320.
Okay.
Which is not obviously that means there's a bigger odd on a KO from him, which is 720 plus
Oh, wow.
720. So
See,
there's
that's the
more
thing.
money.
I don't see. I mean, I see him more getting a submission though than a
Hmm.
knockout.
Well, yeah,
But
but a
plus,
knockout could still happen.
yeah,
Still
but
has
the champ,
hands.
the champ got a good chin though, bro, and he showed it against Aldo a couple times, I think. And that's what I don't know, man. I like the champ, man. I like the champ winning. Either he's gonna take it in the later rounds, or be a knockout. I think, but like I said, I think that's gonna be the fight that's gonna take the card as far as maybe the best fight of the night, as far as competitive wise, and look out for that one, in my opinion.
But all right, Amanda Nunez, Megan Anderson. First thing I want to say, bro, this fight, I think you can agree, right? Amanda Nunez, best female fighter of all time,
Go,
like GOAT status for sure, right?
go, yeah, go.
Period. Period. Nobody else before that matters. And that includes Ronda Rousey.
Oh, of course.
So it's one thing that as a fan, bro, like it bothers me that Ronda Rousey got so much hype, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
and she wasn't even close to Amanda Nunes, bro. And Amanda Nunes isn't getting that spotlight, for example, that Ronda Rousey used to get,
Yeah.
and it sucks. I mean, I don't think it bothers her.
Yeah.
She's never really said anything about it,
Yeah.
but it's super obvious that she doesn't have the exposure. The UFC isn't giving her the same exposure that they give Ronda Rousey. When Amanda Nunes is by far fucking
Oh yeah. Well
above,
rounded everywhere.
you know, not just that, but it's like, dude, like you can't even compare Ronda Rousey to Amanda Nunes, like
Yeah.
period. Um, but with that being said, I think a lot of people overlooking Megan Anderson, and I think the one thing that she brings to the table that Amanda hasn't really dealt with is like just her size. I know there is a big size difference with Chris Cyborg, but Megan Anderson's just way bigger than Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
When it comes to like she's 6 foot tall, right? She has super long arms and legs and reach. Um, and I think she's a more technical fighter. Like her hands are pretty good.
Yeah.
Her jits, her ground is really good.
Yeah.
So I
I know
wouldn't.
she talked about the last interview when she won her last fight. I think she won it by submission,
She
I believe.
won. No, her last one was by knockout,
Okay. The one
and
before
her the one
though.
previous to that, the one before that was by triangle.
Yeah, and she really really mentioned that she was working on her jiu-jitsu really hard and also was trying to
Well,
improve that part of
that's
the
the thing.
game.
Her
So,
size, like she has really long legs, obviously.
yeah.
Like that's killer for triangles and arm bars and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting in her guard, you are in fucking trouble. Um, I don't see that happening unless like somehow she pulls guard.
Yeah.
I don't think Amanda Nunez will try to take her down.
Yeah.
I think Amanda's just going to try to do the same shit that she did to Chris Cyborg,
Yeah.
was just kind of overwhelmed with punches. But again, if Megan Anderson can keep that distance with her reach, I could also see a KO by
Yeah.
kick by Megan Anderson, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Really. I might have to disagree on you with this one, man. Megan's good. You brought up good points and everything, but I feel like Amanda, there's nobody that can beat Amanda. I don't even think. I mean, yeah, I can't
No, I
see
mean, don't get
anybody
me
beat.
wrong. I still think if I have to bet on it, I would bet on Amanda, right?
Yeah,
But I think a lot of people are like overlooking
sleeping.
Megan Anderson.
Yeah, but to see that what I was gonna get to is that I think Amanda. I mean, she has a kid, right? She got that extra, I think
Motivation.
Brandon Sharp says it best that mom power. Having a kid changes your life completely. Where before if you trained, always trained at 100%, you're definitely gonna train at 110%. you know I think that is going to help her, and I think it's definitely, I don't know, I don't see it going that big of a it's going to either go the 5 rounds, but if it don't go the 5 rounds, I in 3 or 2, I honestly think it will be a dominant performance by Amanda. I just don't, I just can't see it. Like you said, it's not going to go to the ground, and unless Megan decides to go for the takedown right away. But you got
She
to be
can.
careful with
I mean, I could see
taking
Amanda
her
Nunez
down.
overwhelming her a little bit too much, and at a certain point, she gets a clinch and
Yeah,
she can take her down. I could see that happening, but she won't be on her guard unless she really good at pulling guard.
yeah,
Um, but like I said, I would also have if I have to put money on it. This is a fight that I'm not gonna bet on, and if I like, it's hard, bro, because if I would bet, I probably will bet, but I probably will bet on Megan because she's such an underdog.
yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah.
just something light,
If
you know.
you're
Like I won't bet a lot, but if I were to bet on this one, I would rather bet on Megan Anderson because of the odds. Um,
well, I mean
but
that's
I
the
wouldn't.
thing.
Obviously, Amanda's the favorite. And, everybody's most likely going with Amanda, and I would agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, don't be surprised
Okay.
if she does pull the opposite.
Okay.
Upset.
Well, and I get what you're saying as far as like betting wise. I mean, if you were just not betting odds, if you were just like, hey, my money's on Amanda, I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
money. Like if it was a bet between you and me,
yeah,
you're like, it's an easy call,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I do
If it's
get
like a
that it's
50-50 fight.
plus it's plus five. Sorry, it's plus 750. So you still can get some good change if it does happen. And
Yeah,
you know what? I mean, let's keep it al 100, right? Let's keep it 100. And the UFC, you just don't really know.
yeah.
You just really don't know when it can happen. It's happened before. And does Megan have a chance? Of course she has a chance, but it's really slim to none in my opinion. But if you're feeling lucky that day, if you know if you know that girl you shot your shot on the DMs for years and she finally hits you up and then all of a sudden you find $100 outside your house
Make that
and then
bet.
you yeah, that's the bet to make. Yeah, I agree. That's one of those days that I'm just feeling lucky and I'm just gonna put money on it,
All I'm
you
saying is
know.
that I think there's a possibility. Now, right, we're talking about how Amanda Nunes is the greatest of all time, right? No doubt
Yeah.
about it. Like at this point, there's not really nobody that comes close to her. But when you talk about the matchup, the stylistic matchup, what that Megan Anderson brings, it's super interesting. And I know like everybody, if I mean, I've been following Megan Anderson since she was in Invicta,
Yeah.
and she was
She was
starching
a
people.
champ, I
She was
believe, right?
starching people, bro.
Yeah.
There was
She
like
was a
no
champ too,
competition
right?
basically for her.
She
Like,
became a champ.
yeah, she
Yeah.
had the belt and she defended it for a while. And the same way that we were talking about Amanda Nunez and Megan Anderson was the same thing at Invicta. So um, she's good, bro. I think she just had just such a like off start in the UFC. Um, she's obviously talked about her like personal problems too, as far as like depression and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I think she's had a hard time. She moved from Australia, I think, to here, and then she just had like a super. She had a hard time adjusting,
Yeah.
but I think she's doing a lot better now, and she's fighting a lot better, and we might see the Megan Anderson of old.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, if that girl hit you up on the DM that day, put your money on her. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're feeling lucky, and and you got a little extra change, so be it, man. Do that bet. That's definitely the bet you want to do. But yeah, I agree. Amanda's the GOAT. Megan can knock out the GOAT. We just don't know. And that's the beautiful thing about, combat sports. We always talk about it here at Alcien Podcast is you just never know. And sometimes, who knows? Maybe Megan wins and then we have round number two, you know. It could be a rematch later on, a rivalry. And you know what? I think that's something that maybe that women's division needs for it to kind of blow up and get more mainstream. And
Yeah,
sometimes you need
because
that.
everybody's fighting at 135. I think, like honestly, on the UFC roster, like I don't think there's more than like 10, if not less,
Oh wow,
145 women at 145.
wow,
Because they were talking about cutting that. Remember?
yeah,
They were talking about just getting rid of that division. And then, but since Amanda had both belts, she wanted to defend both belts. So now I think if Megan Anderson can win it, the division,
yeah,
it becomes a lot more interesting. Um, but yeah, we'll see, bro. We'll see. Like I
yeah.
said, just don't be surprised if Megan Anderson wins. I'm telling you.
Hey, he called it first here in
Called it
Alcien
here first
Podcast.
on the ASEAN
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah, there you go. You know.
um, Jan Lakovic.
Okay.
I think I
I'm
got it.
surprised. Listen, I'm gonna say it again. I'm bad with people's names. I'm just gonna call him Jan.
You know
And
what's
then
it was funny is that I had two customers yesterday that were Polish, so I
oh,
asked them.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, bro, man, this fight.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are going for Isri, right? Like
Okay.
everybody's going on the hype train again,
Okay.
like always.
Okay.
The hype train is right now is on Israel Adesanya,
Okay.
but let's not forget this dude's a fucking knockout artist, right?
Yeah, you know what? Can I say something? And I saw I actually broke it down myself with the Jan. If you, I don't know if you can pull up his record, but I mean, it looked like he had like a hard, rough start in the UFC in the beginning.
Yeah. So his storyline's pretty fucking dope if you ask me.
Yeah,
Um I saw a picture too that was talking about his like his record in 2018 compared to his record in 2020,
yeah,
which he had like he was 1-4 or something like that,
yeah.
and
He
then
had a really rough start in the beginning of the
super rough,
UFC. I
super rough.
remember that. Yeah,
I mean, it's 27-8, and I think half of those losses were just well, more than half of those losses were less than 2 years ago.
yeah.
But yeah, he has a super dope storyline, and I can't pull his fucking record.
Yeah, it's right there. 27. Oh, well, you can't pull it. You're
Nope.
gonna might have to go to
Oh,
Wikipedia, man, to find that.
yeah, here we go.
Okay.
So he
Yeah.
knocks out Reyes.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's talk about that one. As far as Reyes, say what you want to say. Reyes fought John Jones, and was considered,
See, but there was a lot of
have,
controversy in that one, which
yeah,
it, Jones won that fight, bro. I don't care what
yeah. No,
anybody
I
says.
agree with
Jones
you.
won
I
that
agree
fight.
with you. But at least Reyes, had, he was one of the few guys, I guess, in a very long time that kind of, got a little excitement with the John Jones, and but the guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. I agree with you. And, that's another one. If two girls hit you up on that DM, you might want to put a bet on that guy too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's the thing too. It's like, my thing is,
So look at this, bro. All his wins. Oh no, I'm wrong. He's got a submission actually, which is kind
yeah.
of surprising. Well, he's a black belt, isn't he?
Uh,
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's a
I'm not
black
sure
belt, bro.
about that one, man.
Which was Izzy was talking about it with Ariel Hawani, dude. They were
Okay.
saying that if he could pick a win, what way would it be? And he's like, would it be by submission? And that's like that would be his ideal
Hmm.
scenario to win by submission, considering that he's a black belt.
Okay. Well, look,
He's
my
another one.
thing, what I was gonna say was, what I want to see is, can Izzy really take the punches at light heavyweight,
That's the thing.
But this guy is so athletic, and
Remember
so
that Izzy got rocked a couple times against what's his name? The Mexican guy. Um fuck, I forget his name.
yeah, he's a real good fighter in the middleweight division. He just fought on the last card, I think.
Yeah, we're bad with names.
Yeah, we will get better at that, by the way. So if people have patience with us, we will get better at that. Um,
Fuck. Yeah,
Gaslin.
Gastelum.
Yeah,
Gastelum.
yeah, there you go.
So he got rocked definitely more than once with him.
Yeah,
And he's a way smaller dude. He's
yeah,
smaller than Izzy,
yeah,
right? He's
yeah,
smaller than Izzy. He's like a big built guy, but
yeah.
he's
And he's always had
definitely
problems
small in
weight
his head.
cutting, going up from 170 to 185. So he just doesn't like weight cutting. So he just stayed at the 185, even though he is a little smaller. He was, I mean, really, if you think about it, he was, the only thing extra he really needed to do was just move a little bit better with Izzy, I think. But that's one thing we're gonna really have to check out and see, especially in the first round, how is he going to do with the punches? Because even a jab might feel a little different from a 185. And um, what's the champ, Jan, man? I think honestly, he is a big guy. Period. As far as weight wise, and that's his natural weight where he fights at. But once again, you can't hate on Izzy trying to do something different. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna bring it up. I know you might be like, oh, it's too soon to tell, but there is a possibility. He will eventually fight John Jones. John Jones says it's not going to happen. I I disagree. I think even John Jones nowadays talks about more about money and the contracts. I mean, you see it on his Twitter, um, and I think that would be a big paycheck for him as well as Izzy. If it happens, you know, if it happens, who knows? But you know what? I can't. I give Izzy a lot of props too. I'm looking at his record right now. You pulled it up as far as like the guys he's fought, and he's fought.
Hey,
He hasn't dodged anybody. You
not
know,
just that, but this fucking record in fucking 3 years that he's been with the UFC, bro. Like
Merkin.
you can't hate on the hype, that
Yeah,
this kid has, and
legit, straight
he's just
legit.
riding it right now, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go up. But I will say this, bro. I will say this. I thought that it was super fucking lame that he's talking all this shit with Jones. He didn't want to move up to fight Jones, but the minute that Jones moves up to heavyweight and vacates the title, oh, I'm going up. I'm going up.
Very
Now
true.
that Jones is
I
gone,
agree.
he jumps up. Like so, in a sense, it's like he dodged the fuck out of Jones.
Yeah,
He dodged the fuck out of Jones. He didn't move up until Jones was out of the picture,
yeah,
which in my opinion was pretty like pussy ass shit if you ask me. Like
yeah,
you had the opportunity to fight Jones. Like you could have moved up and fought Jones, prior to all this, but you waited until he left and then you moved up and then you're gonna he's still saying that, oh, I don't think it's gonna happen in July, maybe December.
yeah,
So he in a sense that he's dodging the fuck out of Jones, bro.
yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
but I,
He's really
you know
good.
what? At the same time, I don't blame him. I mean, John Jones is a savage, bro. Like, I mean, if you want to pull up John Jones's record, I mean,
No, yeah.
that's
You don't even
no,
have
but
to, bro.
John Jones, you can't even say, man, that guy is. It just sucks. He has always had legal problems outside of what he does for a
Who gives
living.
a fuck, bro? Who gives a
Yeah,
fuck? Like,
yeah, but
it
that's the
doesn't even
thing.
matter, bro. Look, this is the one thing that, like, the UFC, and I'll go back to it. The UFC has gone over fucking boxing, right?
Yeah,
One of the reasons why everybody hates on Benavidez and they judge him so much is because of all his shit that he had, that coke stuff. Same thing with
yeah,
Chavez Jr.
okay,
Nobody liked him as far as the counselors. He wasn't a good champ because he had all those issues, right?
yeah,
Jones is the same shit.
yeah.
And guess what? Dana White doesn't give a fuck, bro. Like, hey, as long as you fight and as long as you keep winning, as far as you keep
Very
competing,
true.
like we're cool with that shit. And I
Yeah,
guarantee you, nobody in the MMA community gives a fuck that he was on coke, that he was on all that bullshit.
yeah,
Nobody fucking cares, bro. Because at the end of the day, he still fucking beats ass, bro, and he still
yeah,
gets W's.
yeah.
Didn't he
No,
say
but
when?
what I'm saying is I'm not criticizing them. I want to make it really clear. I'm not criticizing them as far as like what has happened outside. I'm just saying I think there's been distractions and that you can see dents in those moments. You did see a little bit dents in his armor. Did he get W's? Of course he got the W's. But then when that quiet John Jones where he's not really out there, like you'll see like destructive fucking performances, and they've been one of the best performances ever, you know?
I will say that if the only ways, the only time I wish that Jones wouldn't have done all that shit is so that he would have stayed active. DC never would have became champ.
I know you got a little special spot in your heart for that guy too.
DC
Um,
never would have became champ. Let's be real.
no, yeah, that's true.
And that's the only time I wish Jones would have stayed on his shit. So he would have kept fighting. He would have stayed active. And DC wouldn't be as cocky as he is today because
Yeah,
he would have never won the title.
yeah. But then again, like I said, we all wished he would have just stayed out of trouble
That's
and
another
it would
one,
have worked
bro.
out.
That's another one. Like fucking John Jones comes up to heavyweight and then DC, oh, I'm retiring. I'm retiring.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just one of those things that like there was no way. Like there was no way. Like and I know we're gonna get into more into John Jones era and discussion pretty soon. I know we got the heavyweights coming up too pretty soon too. Francis
Heavyweight
and
news today too.
Stipe. That one's gonna be a really good one as well.
Heavyweight news today too. Alistair Overeem and Dos Santos are gone
Yeah,
out of the UFC.
yeah. Well, I mean, they had their nice little run. It was nice.
Especially Dos Santos, bro. I mean, he has his trilogy with Kane. That
Yeah,
was a badass trilogy.
yeah,
They went 1-1, and then Kane came up on top. Um, and then Overeem, he didn't have that great of a UFC career, but even what he did prior to the UFC,
yeah. The guy's a
he's still an
legend.
OG. He's still a
Yeah.
vet. He's still a legend. So
I mean, but you know what? That's the one thing that like I wish they were no, and I guess yes and no, but like when the guys were on the Mexican supplements B, the UFC was a little better. You gotta admit, and in the sense that like you had even Overeem, right? I mean, he was called the Demolition Man, and if you don't know what he looked like back in the day, I mean, just Google him that way,
yeah,
Overeem, Demolition Man, and it was fucking crazy. And it was cool to see him when he fought Brock Lesnar. I thought it was a really good fight, and I also thought it was kind of his homecoming at that time with the UFC. But then eventually UFC ended up getting the golden snitch. They ended up hiring somebody to do more of the investigating on the drug testing and stuff.
Sada.
And yeah, USADA.
I think that's good. I think it's a good thing, bro. You can't be
Yeah.
mad at that. Like, especially with the shit with we go back to what we were just talking about TJ Dillashaw, shit like that, bro. It's such a huge advantage.
Yeah,
Other
no,
guys weren't going that route, right?
yeah,
But and you still gotta wonder who's still flying under the radar, because I
yeah,
guarantee you, you know, somebody will pop up later again.
yeah. No, yeah. And that's the thing, like it's all about evolution and they'll always try to figure out like, always try to figure out another way to be able to, cheat the system. And for the record, I support clean sports, and everything, but it's just
Why you
it
like
was fun. It was a
you
fun
said
era.
you
That's
just
all I
said
gotta
you
say.
liked it when they didn't.
Yeah, no, but it was a fun era, it was a fun era.
It
So
was wild there.
yeah, it was a wild era, but it was a good era. We had really good fights too, you know?
But yeah, so going back to Israel and whatever his name is,
Yeah,
Yahovich or
yeah.
whatever.
Jan.
Yeah, who you picking? You picking Izzy?
I'm picking Izzy, but once again, if a girl hit me on the DMs, that I've been trying to talk to forever, I would probably put my money on Jan. Because you never know. I mean, at that weight class, it, those people pack a punch, man. And
And
that's the
that's
one thing that it could be over quick. But then again, you got Izzy with, he's super athletic, and he does have that striking background, bro, where he might not hit you with that one hitter quitter, but at least he's gonna hit you with a couple combos. And remember,
so
the ones you don't see always hurt the most, and that can happen in that fight.
so just so you know, I think Izzy will have to break him down, right? I
Yeah,
think he'll
I
have to
I
break him
agree.
apart.
Yeah,
Use his distance, use good combinations. I think the leg kicks will be a good one for this.
yeah,
It would be a smart way route for Izzy, and I think
yeah,
he'll have to break him down a little bit before he can finish him,
yeah,
and then finish him towards the later rounds. I think that's kind of like the smart way to go. Knowing Izzy, you just never know. He might just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go all out and fucking try to knock his ass out."
yeah,
Um, then I think that in that transition, because he wants to try to take him into the later rounds, I think in that process and that those transitions, I think he could get caught, and if he gets caught, it's lights out. So to be honest, bro, this is a fight I would not bet on. Um, so I'll probably bet on some other ones, but this is a fight I'm not gonna bet on because it's just too. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think just because Izzy has the hype, and he does, and he's good, and he's great.
But
He's
bet on
amazing.
who though? Bet on who
Huh?
for bet on who? Just bet on the fight period, or just
I
bet
won't
on?
bet on this one. I won't bet on this one. I'm saying that a lot of people are on that Izzy train, right?
Okay,
A lot of people are calling it Izzy. Izzy's gonna win, and Izzy's gonna get that,
okay,
that second title.
okay.
I'm just saying that on this one, it's too
Too
uneven,
close.
bro.
It's
Even
too
even
close.
the odds are way off on this one too.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
So
But once again, if I wanted to just prove a point, and that girl hit me on the DM, then that's the one I'm betting. I'm betting on Yan. But once
you can
again,
put a parlay on Megan Anderson and yeah, dude.
there you go.
And then, I mean, you bet. I bet you bet the odds would increase over 1,000 on that one for sure. Probably 2,000 or more. You bet a good $15. You make over $200-300.
There you go. There you go, people. You heard it first. Uh, you know, but like once again, that's a parlay. And number two, you just never know. You really just never know.
But
So
yeah, bro. I just think people underestimate the matchups. People are going on the hypes, which are Amanda and
easy.
Izzy, and they're not considering like the matchup that really is there. And I think that we might be surprised in a couple,
Okay.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Or it might not be that. It might be, casinos
We
won
might
all
be
their
wrong.
money that night. Yeah. We could be wrong, but
We might be
it's always
completely
good to
wrong.
talk about it. It's always good to talk about it, and it's always and once again I'll say it, that's why we love combat sports, because you just never know, any given night anything can happen. And I know all those guys that they train hard, they take this shit serious, and I know they're there to win, every time, except Canelo's opponent last weekend. But we're not gonna talk about that no more.
I
But
think
if you got
Canelo last
nothing else to
weekend.
say, bro, I think we pretty much wrapped it up. We even mentioned Canelo's opponent again, which I know a lot of people are still pissed off about. But once again, we're not gonna talk about it anymore. Um, yeah, man,
No, I'm
it's
good.
pretty much set.
Enjoy the fights,
Yeah.
and
Oh, one
hopefully
more
we
thing,
have some
bro. Okay,
fireworks.
one more thing, and I hope he listens. Santi, we're gonna go watch the fights with you, bro. So I hope you start, letting
Letting
your
them
girl
ask for
know.
permission.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Santi, let your girl know that yeah, you going out with the boys. All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Is
Peace.
that it? All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Have a good night. Have a good day. Everybody stay safe. We'll talk to you guys later.
Fuck being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.